Welcome. I'm very excited about this video with you today. Bringing juiciness to your practice, refreshing your practice. What do you do when your practice feels dry? And what does dry even mean? Well, here's a metaphor. You might have your own. But you're eating something and it's just actually dry. There's no moisture in it. And not only is there no moisture, but it seems like there's no flavor. And chewing just feels like work, and you don't know why you're even bothering. Let's take a deep breath together. Let go on the exhale. So right there is tip one for bringing fresh flavor and juiciness to your practice. How you're breathing. Deepen and strengthen your inhales. Get really familiar with paying attention to how you're breathing when you're doing your practices. Really, when you're doing anything, to be monitoring it, because my experience that continues to grow over many years is how we're breathing is how we're experiencing the moment. And if we want a different experience, we can shift the rhythm and the depth of our breath. So that's one of your big tips. What's another tip? Well, one of the times and places when our practices can get dry is that we've taken a commitment, either with a teacher or on our own, to do a practice over an extended period of time. So sometimes midway, or at some other part, we can feel dry. We can feel like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm not feeling the juiciness of the practice that got me to want to say yes in the first place. At that time, one of the things that could be coming up is we're really close to having a shift in perspective or a transformation of our energy of some sort, and we're getting really, really close to it. And the ego structure, and we don't realize this is happening until we do, is trying to pull us back to a familiar way of being, even if that familiar way of being is rather confining. And it often and usually is, especially when you're looking from having taken a leap in consciousness back at how you were feeling. Let's take another deep breath together. Really let go through your whole body as you exhale. So I'll keep coming back to breath. As long as you know me, I'll keep coming back to breath as one of the most important tools for shifting an experience, deepening an experience, opening awareness wider, being able to see more. So this business of the practice feeling dry. Well, another reason we can feel dryness in the practice is that we're coming into contact with material that's been stored behind our view, in the unconscious, like blind spots. We could also call that shadow material. We're coming into contact with some old material that we don't even maybe remember how it got there. And the flavor of that material is something like, what's the point? Why bother? Why am I even alive? What really matters? Kind of just feeling flat. And this happened at a time that we were unprepared to notice it and digest it. I mean, how many times might that have happened growing up, just going to school and sitting in a classroom, under fluorescent lights? Like, what the heck are we doing? What's the point of this? Is this going to get me anywhere? And we start to check out in that moment. We start to check out when we go into those stories. We start to check out. We start to go unconscious. Our breathing follows that. Our breathing is not conducive to feeling inspired, but really the opposite of that. So I've already given you one major tip, which is to play with your breath. And really play, have more fun with your breath. What's another really key thing we can do? Well, remember why you started. Why did you start the practice? What inspired you? Does it still have inspiration? So we're going to do a practice in a moment about that. We're going to do a practice that's going to open something up, some juiciness, I hope, for you. But I want to first touch on one more thing that really makes a difference in keeping practices fresh. And that's choosing to go into a situation where you can create momentum with a practice. What does that look like? Well, you've got lots of options. One option is to do a retreat. Go on retreat. In fact, it's highly recommended for people who are committed to growing in life to at least once a year do an extended retreat, really ideally seasonally, if you can make it work. And this doesn't mean you have to leave your home. There's lots of ways to do it without even having to leave your home. One way is to consider having a 1 day a month personal retreat. You're off all electronics. You go into silence. You get the support of anybody you share space with to be in silence for that day. Or maybe you start with a half a day and you select a practice and you have multiple sits that day of the practice. You want to be consistent with it. There's a lot more, and I can help those of you who are interested to set up your own personal retreat, self-guided personal retreat, and I can help you with that. Something we could explore in private session, should you choose to go that route. You can go on retreats that somebody else is guiding. I regularly guide retreats, and you can also do my Empowered You meditation intensives. I give them a few times a year. They're a half-day online retreat. In fact, I'll put a link in the comment box below for the next one. These Empowered You meditation intensives are designed to create momentum. It's a half day. If you do it when we do it live, and you don't have to, you can do it at a later now with the recordings like many people do, but if you do it when we do it live, it runs from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pacific time when we have these intensives with breaks. So it's really not a ton of time, and it's on a Saturday. And then you have the rest of the day to integrate, or the evening, and really explore. And these experiences that come out of these intensives of the momentum from so many people writing into me are profound. They really bring me to tears. So that's another option. And there are so many other options. You could select a practice that you really love and choose to do it for several days or more than once a day. There's some suggestions and guidance about that. And should you have questions about that, you can write to me in the comments below, or you can write to me at info@scottschwenk.com. The main thing I'll say is, if it's a fierce practice, like you're working with a deity who is a ferocious deity, like some version of Kali or something like this, you want to check in with your teacher, whether it's me or somebody else, and see if you're ready to do an extended version of that practice and what you need to put on either side of it. So we've talked about a number of things, and I'm still going to guide you through a practice to bring juice into your inspiration. But we've talked about breath as number one. Deepening your inhales, taking fuller breaths in general is going to bring more juiciness to your experience of being alive in the most basic of moments and in your practices. Doing retreat or intensified experience of practices, whether that's a day, a week, a month. I really do look forward to doing 1-month retreats with some of you where you're away with me in a residential setting for an extended period of time. Your affairs are taken care of, so you minimally need to check in, and you can do a month of focused practice. What could happen? So those are the few of the things we've spoken about. One more thing is checking in with the practices you're doing. Is it time to select a new practice? Now, if you just started a practice a month ago, it's not probably yet time to select a new practice, unless the original practice was actually not best suited for you. So if you've been doing the same practice in the same way for a long time, some of you perhaps maybe it was your TM meditation, you're doing your same basic 20-minute meditation and same basic mantra that you've been doing for years and years and years, and you feel like you're not growing. Well, there's a reason for that. It's time to deepen your practice. So to know when it's time to sense the dryness, maybe a time to check in with your teacher or your own inner knowing if you're ready to be selecting practices for yourself. Is it time to add a practice or change a practice? And a key to practices that my teachers have told me is do practices you want to do. Select practices you want to do. Really, really important key. There's so much more we could discuss about this, and a lot of it comes down to individually tailoring it. And that's why for some of you, you may want to schedule some private time with me or your teacher, if you have a different teacher, to go deeper into exploring what's timely for you at this stage in your growth. So let's get on to the practice. It's going to be simple practice. It's a meditative practice. And you really could do this eyes open, but I'm going to encourage you, if you're able, to do it eyes closed. So if you're driving, save this for another time or pull over. So assuming that you're in a circumstance where you can do this short practice together, set yourself up in a meditative seat, upright, unless you have a medical condition that requires you to need to lay down or you're unwell. Be upright with a long spine, free from strain. If you're in a chair, place both feet flat on the floor and press the feet into the floor a little bit. Feel the floor with your feet without having to describe it in words. Whatever you're seated on, press your buttocks, your sits bones, your thighs a little bit into your seat. Feel that. Feel the points of contact of your body with your seat. And through that, you can feel the earth's gravity. If you really slow your exhales, you can begin to feel the earth's gravity, the contact with the earth through your seat. Your eyes are gently closed. Your breath is coming in a little deeper and it's going out longer and slower. This longer and slower exhaling slows the thinking stream down, and that's so beneficial to getting creative insight. To further support this, I'm going to take you through the 6 points of softening, this way of relaxing the body. It's very important. This long, slow exhales and then relaxing the body slows the heart rate down, creates space in your awareness, spaciousness, ease, and the ability to see more, to recognize more of what's important. So freshly bring a portion of your awareness to the soles of your feet, please. And as though you're opening tightly closed fists with your imagination, soften the soles of your feet continuously, softening the skin, tendons and connective tissue, and muscles all the way to the bone. Yeah, and as you're continuing to soften the soles of your feet, please do the same thing with your palms of your hands. And make sure your elbows are hanging neatly at your sides so that your hands are not pushing you backwards or pulling you forwards. Your arms are just hanging at 90-degree angles at your sides. So your soles and palms are becoming softer and softer and softer continuously. And each time you exhale, you can have the feeling of letting go a little bit more. You can soften the four corners of your eyes, the inside and the outside corners of your eyes, melting like butter on a very hot day. And bring that same feeling of softening through the space inside and around your ears, really letting go with each exhale, and making up that letting go is wonderful and easy. And you can soften the tongue as it rests deeply in the floor of your mouth, and all the little muscles that run throughout the pelvic floor, groin region, sphincter, PC muscle, letting go, enjoying letting go, choosing to enjoy letting go. Nice deep inhale and letting go on the exhale. As you inhale, expand your awareness so that you can now playfully soften all 6 points infinitely wider at the same time. Soles of the feet, palms of the hands, corners of the eyes, region of the ears, tongue, pelvic floor, groin region. For some of you, these practices I'm giving about how to breathe and soften the 6 points may be new, and that may be key to you bringing juiciness to whatever your existing practices are. That may be enough for you. Let's go a little deeper. So you keep softening the 6 points, soles, palms, eyes, ears, tongue, pelvic floor. And as you inhale, have the feeling that the breath is expanding the center of your chest. And by the center, I mean the place that's about 3 to 5 finger widths inside the center of your chest. So you're imagining you're inhaling into this region. And in this region is light. It doesn't have to be visible to you, but it is there. light, and it's the light of pure wisdom. And it's also the light of pure love. And it's already there, no matter whether you've ever experienced it in this life or not, it is there. It is there. So you're breathing into this region, 3 to 5 finger widths inside the center of your chest. And as you exhale, you're just letting go. You're softening everything around the region, relaxing everything around the region. Just get familiar with breathing into this region and letting go as you exhale, making it up that it's easy. And you're seeing, feeling, or imagining that pure wisdom and pure love are right there in your heart cave, ready for you, ready to support you, to advise you, to bring you greater clarity and inspiration. And simply drop this question in a mood of curiosity and receptivity. Drop this question like you're dropping a pebble into a beautiful still lake. And then it begins to ripple, these golden ripples as the sun is rising. And the question you're dropping into this heart cave region, and the answer will come as the ripples expand, is what is the next step for me to take in bringing more juiciness, inspiration, and aliveness to my inner practices, the practices that help me to grow in consciousness? What is the next step or set of steps for me to take in moving in this direction of juiciness in my practice, inspiration? I'm going to mute my microphone so you have real quiet over there to just sit in this meditation. And if you're noticing competing thoughts, simply have the feeling that you're exhaling the energy of thinking itself, like you're letting air out of a bicycle tire that's too full, so that that bicycle tire can grip the road. And come back to just being receptive, trusting that this grace in your heart is ready to support you with clear knowing. Let's meditate. If you're by chance repeating a mantra, please complete the repetition you're on. Never stop in the middle. And then just sit quietly for a few moments without trying to do anything, noticing what you're experiencing. And you can take 3 deep breaths to signal a transition. Nice clear transition. And then you can gently open your eyes. And if you're not done meditating, we'll simply stop the video, keep meditating, and press play again when you're ready to finish with us. So for those of you coming out of meditation, you may like to take some time to write in your notebook anything that came up for you. Images, words, knowings. And you could definitely extend this time of being receptive to a question you've asked. I've brought you through a way of working with what I call contemplation, holding something in a space of awareness or a quality of mind that allows us to recognize new perspectives we haven't yet seen. With the understanding that the power of grace, the power that makes the impossible possible, the power that transforms consciousness back into its original nature as fully awake, fully loving, fully grounded, fully embodied, is in every particle of your body, is in every particle of the air around you and available. We're just learning and practicing accessing it. In the case of today's practice, to explore ways to bring more juiciness and aliveness and inspiration to your practices. And perhaps that even includes selecting a new practice. So may the fruits of our inner work together bear great fruit. May they uplift all beings as well as the earth. May we be happy, may we be well, and may we feel loved, all of us. So whatever came to you, keep exploring it, keep contemplating it. It may require more contemplation and a little bit of practice, putting things into practice and seeing how they work. And as you know, I'm a resource that's here for you in different ways, lots of ways, whether it's the intensives, the courses, one-on-one master coaching, and in-person events. Enjoy yourself. I'll see you soon.